Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Nicole Swanson. If you're new here, hi, welcome in. I help people think different in the spaces of mindset, wealth creation, and entrepreneurship. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about why you should buy a business before you actually start one. Let's get started. Nobody is better than you. They may be luckier than you because they may have a little bit more knowledge that you don't have. But that can change today. It could change tomorrow. Let's get started. It's no secret that 90% of startups fail within the first 5 years of business. And to be honest with you, I have been in the startup phase now 6 times. Okay, 6 different brands. And out of my 6 brands, I have been fortunate enough to have 4 of them make it out of the startup phase. What if I told you that there was a smarter and less riskier way for you to be a new entrepreneur and coming in as a startup entrepreneur, but running a very mature business? In this aspect, you would deep dive into why acquiring a business before starting one would be a probable move that you want to make if you are someone who likes cash flow immediately, like I do. I like to make money and I like to make it right now. And that is what buying a business does for you. It allows you to make money right now. And it is only until recently when I realized if I want to start any more businesses, it is going to be by way of acquiring one before I go through the process of creating a new baby all over again. But with this process, you have to set the record straight for yourself. Businesses are meant to just be profitable and make money. Businesses are an avenue to wealth creation. And so I know a lot of us are tied to passion projects, right? We want to get into business because we're passionate about something. We love what we do. We feel energetic about it. Somebody probably one day told us that we were great at this thing and we should start a business at it. And by the way, they won't support you when you do that. Your supporters will be strangers, but you didn't hear it from me. Okay. And so we get this energizing aspect about ourselves that just it's so driving, it drives us to do the thing, and then we do the thing, and then we realize, oh wait, we're doing this thing, but now all this stuff comes with doing this thing. I have all these costs, all of these expenses. I have this learning curve. I have this knowledge that I need to build. I don't have any customers. I don't have any clients. I can't make any money right now. How long is this going to take me? Questions all over the place. But what if you just 100% decided, okay, how can I minimize this but still explore the lane of entrepreneurship? And if you happen to be one of those very gifted, very blessed, highly favored people who do not care what type of business they're in, as long as they're making some money and creating some impact and having some cash flow go on, then congratulations, you are God's favorite. Okay. You don't have to worry about all the stuff that I just told you about, because the creative minds that are attached to their creations and their ideas and concepts, the ones who can't divorce that idea and concept in their mind, they have to make that thing happen. Those are the people that are very, very tough nuts to crack. And so we don't progress as fast as those who aren't married to a concept or an idea, who just really want to get into business to create wealth, and then at the same time just happen to impact a group or a body of people. Obviously, when you're starting a business from scratch, you have a lot to consider, right? You have a lot of questions that you need answered. You must go through the market research behind what it is that you're doing. And if you haven't watched my video yet about starting a business in 2025 and creating a checklist for yourself, I highly encourage you to go watch that video. It breaks down exactly what you should be focusing your attention on in the beginning stages of starting a business and how that will help you. So if you're still tied to wanting to start your own business and wanting to produce something special and something that is important for you to do, go and watch that video and make sure that you deep dive the checklist that's on there. But for everybody else who is on here and you're wanting to know why you should be convinced into buying a business versus starting one, well, it's low risk. Starting a business is high risk. It comes with a lot of things that I already have mentioned about learning curves, about the lack of funds, lack of customers, understanding how to navigate this entire new industry that you're getting into, and how to be sustainable in that industry. Because like I said, 90% of startups, they close within the first 5 years of business, and some of them don't even make it out of the first 3 years of business. So you want to have that in mind. But the difference between you starting one and one already open and open for you and you buying it, you're not buying a dead business. You're not buying an LLC that's just sitting somewhere on paper and it's not making money. You're acquiring a company that already has staff in place, management in place, a product that sells, a service that sells, and they are consistently growing and developing in somehow, some way. Maybe the owner wants to sell. Maybe they're in retirement phases. They're moving, no longer have interest in the business, wanting to put their focus or attentions to other ventures. And so they are looking for a buyer. And you may say, well, okay, cool. They're looking for a buyer. Now, how do I do this thing? Well, this process is a little intricate, but at the same time, it is simple, but it's easy, but not simple. I should say that it's simple. It's an easy process, but it's just not as simple as most people think that it is. Another reason why you should buy over starting is the time consuming process that it takes for you to build up the consumer base and start to actually make money. Like I said before, I'm a silent cash flow queen. Okay. I like for money to come in and flow to me easily and frequently and on a consistent basis. And if that is you too, then starting up a business may not be the thing that you want to do. It is also difficult to secure funding in most spaces for entrepreneurs who are starting a new company, unless you have built up the credit and you have strong financial a strong financial backing for your personal life that you can utilize in your business life. And then you have the right NASDAQ codes, SIC codes, you have the right industry that you're a part of, you have a surefire business plan and all those things, then yes, you can 100% acquire the funding. But if you already have an established company with established credit profiles and established viable product on the market or viable services on the market, then you don't have to do a whole lot of convincing to lenders. You just tell them why you need the money and then go get it. So they'll give it to you. When you're buying a business, you already have a proven track record that the business was able to do exactly what it needs to do in order for it to go to new heights and to be scalable and to expand if you want to expand. Now, I have a rule. My rule is if I can't come into this company and make this company more money, I'm not buying it. I'm not doing it. And maybe it's not something that I need to do directly. Maybe it's something that I should hire greatly. That means hire somebody who knows how to do it. And if you don't know that, if you're not the person who knows how to hire people who knows how to make money, then again, you may not be in the right business to buy the company either. But in this state in mind of where we are now, majority of what elevates companies is technology today. So if you understand how technology can improve or advance companies that you're going to buy, you may be in a favorable position. All right. I don't know if you know how important relationships are in our society, but relationships can open doors for you sometimes that your work can't even get you into, but your work will keep you there if you have the relationship to get you there. And when you have different brands and vendors and contractors and other business minds that you are networking with because of your successful company that you're already acquiring, then it becomes more of an asset for you more than anything. And you can always utilize those relationships past doing business in that current company or that existing company. I want to tap into some of the concerns that I know that people are going to have, and that's like, how expensive is it to buy a business? I don't have a lot of money to acquire a business. How can I do this? This doesn't seem attainable. It seems cheaper for me to just go ahead and try to do a startup. Well, there's a lot of different ways that you can structure deals. Okay. So if you're looking to buy a business, I would tell you to start deep diving into deal flow, into deal structuring, because this is going to be the primary thing that you need to focus on when it comes to acquisition and entirely. Now we're getting into acquisition. And so acquiring the companies or acquiring the assets, acquiring something that you're able to leverage, whether it is properties, a business, and jewels, heirlooms, whatever. Acquisition is highly profitable. Now, there are ways that you can buy companies using absolutely no money, and I'll break that formula down for you in a separate video. But for now, I'll tell you this. You can structure deals strictly by figuring out, what does the owner want? What is important to the owner? Why are they wanting to sell? And if you can come to a common ground that will make the owner happy, as well as give you what you want without coming out of pocket with much cash. You may have to put down a small down payment or maybe no down payment at all. Maybe you can pay the owner the first portion of the funds directly from the business accounts, because if this is a profitable business that you're paying, you can just pay that owner out of the accounts. And that is also going to be by way of it being a business expense, like transfer of ownership, right? Payout, exit fee, or so that you can acquire the company. You can structure a deal where that owner is receiving a mass payout from the funds that are already coming through the business, and then you take over, and y'all have some kind of deal situated where that will continue to happen until their owner is fully paid off. Or you can come out of pocket a little bit off top, and then you can pay a small down payment to the owner and let the owner know that future payments will come out of the operations cost of the business until the owner is paid off. Or you can go by way of getting a conventional loan from your bank if you have good personal credit going into this anyway, and the businesses already have a lot of great cash flow coming in, the revenue is great, the company is doing well, then you can use the backing of the business to go to the bank and get a loan and pay the owner outright, and then you'll just be paying the loan back to the bank. There are several different ways that you can acquire a company without having to come out of your pocket with a lot of money to spend. Like I said, we will deep dive details in later videos where I will break down deal structuring and deal flow, not just for buying a company, but also separate videos where I'll break down deal flow and deal structuring for buying properties as well. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, so you can come back over and see me for that. So you're saying, like, how can I get started in this? Now that you know what it is, why it's more probably feasible for you to buy one versus starting one, and how you can encounter different problems, how you can potentially pay for this thing. Now you want to know, like, how can I get started in these things? And so I'm going to tell you a few things. One, I want you to identify the skills and the interests that you have. Make a list of those things that you will probably care about, things that you're good at, the interest that you have. I want you to weigh that against what is happening in the current market of business growth and business development, because you don't want to buy a company from someone that is in a dying market, right? You want to buy a company from someone that has the growth potential is still there. Year after year, you're constantly growing. The revenue share is constantly growing. The operating costs are constantly decreasing, but the revenue is constantly increasing. And so you want to buy a company that the market loves. The people need things from them, whether by way of convenience or solving some type of pain point that they have. You want to understand that market and how it is going to grow or how it is going to die. All right. The other thing you want to do is, in the state of your research, I talk about market research in the previous video. I mentioned about how to start a business in 2025. Market research is still high on that list. And some of the things that I mentioned in a previous point is a part of your market research. But I would 100% focus on the numbers. Have someone deep dive accounting. If you're interested in a business, make sure that you 100% have the understanding of how accounting works and have an overview of that, or have someone else that is very good at accounting. This is going to be like the things, the nut and the bolts of the business. It's going to be the foundation. So if you don't have that in order, if you don't do the due diligence behind that, you can find yourself in a suffering state after doing a deal. And we don't want that to happen. You research the industries and you've identified your skills and your strengths. You've weighed that against what's happening in the growing market. You want to evaluate all of the metrics of the businesses. What I was already saying, I'm ahead of my checklist right now. That's going to be your profitability, your customer base, your growth potential in the company, the things that you can expand the business to later on down the line. So if just take Coca-Cola, for example, right? When Coca-Cola first got started, Coca-Cola had Coke, and then they expanded a line of drinks that they offered later on down the line. And so then Coca-Cola may make Sprite, and then they may make another drink and another drink and another drink. And so they found ways in the same market, right, that would appeal to different customers, but consistently expanded their product line to offer different things under different branding. And so that's how they're able to expand their revenue share, or their revenue that constantly comes into the business. They don't have just one thing going on. And for years after years after years, they're consistently growing and scaling this company. So you want to look at that before you even buy the company. You want to see ways that you can scale, ways that you can grow, ways that you can continue to add different products or services year after year after year. When you come in, you should automatically know where the company is lacking and how you can greatly improve it. And so you want to know how much it's going to cost you to do that as well. So before you even go into the deal with the owner and negotiations and all of those things, this is a part of your due diligence as well. How much is it going to cost you to improve the company, even if the company is not in a bad state right now? And it shouldn't be in a bad state at all, right? But if it is in an autopilot state, it's reached a plateau where it's making money, it's not losing money, but it's not making any additional funds, but it's kind of holding steady every year after year after year. You want to know, how much is it going to cost you to scale up this revenue? How much is it going to cost me to make more money in this company? What do we have to do that? And whatever you have to do that, because you don't want your company just flatlining at a specific revenue cap every year. You want it growing every year, even if it's by a 2 to 5% every year. It doesn't matter what it is. You want it growing every single year. Even a 1% growth rate is better than a 0% growth rate. Now that we've talked all about that, where do you buy these businesses? Where do you find them? Well, let's start with the obvious. The obvious is you see businesses for sale around your city, what we call driving for dollars, which is literally driving around so you can get paid later on. So driving around looking for opportunities in real estate, that's what we do anyway. So you drive around, you look for opportunities that are in your area, you see what's out there, you drive from city to you drive from area to area, and maybe you have a notepad or whatever, you have something that you're tracking this with, but that would be the obvious start. The second one that you want to visit is Biz by Sale, which is a broker site that has a list of businesses for sale. They give you preliminary, like just some basic primary information about the business, and they try to tell you all these fancy things about the income and all of that kind of stuff. But I suggest that you find one that you like. If you find one that you like on Biz by Sale, that you deep dive those numbers yourself, and that you get all up in their business, start asking all the questions that you have to ask, and do the numbers yourself. Don't rely on the information that they tell you, because the valuation of those companies may or may not be accurate, and you can come up with your own valuation just by having the revenue, the equipment that the assets that the business own, and also the potential to continuously grow within that company, minus the cost that you're going to have to take to put into growing the company when you acquire it. Flippa is another one, and it specializes in online e-commerce stores and websites and apps. So if you're wanting to acquire an online business, Flippa may be for you. LoopNet is another one. It primarily deals with commercial real estate, but they have some businesses for sale on LoopNet as well, and they have a lot of motivated sellers. So majority of those sellers are kind of older in the boomer generation and wanting to retire. So it's a great site to explore. Businessbroker.net offers a wide variety of businesses, from franchise to small local mom and pop businesses. So if you love a local type business, nothing that's too big or medium size, but it's making money and it's doing great in its local area, you may want to check out businessbroker.net. So there is a lot of different ways or different reasons as to why you should buy a business versus starting one. And I would honestly say that if you are seriously motivated by cash flow, then this is the way that I would go for you. And if not, if you want to, go through the thick of it and get it out the mud like the rest of us have been doing over here, then hey, come on over to the dark side as well. But there are options out there for you, and I wanted to let you know. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and subscribe. Send it to a motivated entrepreneur who wants to get started in entrepreneurship this year, or who's thinking about buying another business or starting another business. Maybe they need to hear some of this advice or some of these insights that are shared here in this video. Until next time, guys, I'm Nicole. Bye.